Good morning, everyone. Thank you. We're going to open our council meeting for February 23rd. Before we go into our meeting, I would like to take a moment of silence to offer our most sincere acknowledgement to the lives lost at Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. We honor each and every person who tragically lost their life, individuals who are deeply loved and valued by their families, friends, and community. No words can truly ease your pain, but we hold you in our hearts. May you find the strength in one another to comfort in shared memories. Hold one another close, honor their lives through compassion, and ensure they are never forgotten. Thank you, everyone. Also, before we start, I'd like to proclamation. I, Warden Oregon, on behalf of the council, proclaim that February 2026 is Black History Month in the County of Victoria. We recognize and value the significant contributions that Black Canadians have made and continue to make to Canadian society, and recognize the quest for Black Canadians for equal opportunity and freedom from discrimination in Canada. I encourage all residents to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue to make Victoria County an inclusive community for all. Therefore, I, Warden Oregon, do hereby proclaim February 2026 as Black History Month in the County of Victoria. And since March is fastly approaching, I would like to make another proclamation. I, Warden Oregon, on behalf of council, proclaim that March 2026 as the month of Le Francophone. We recognize the richness and vibrancy of the French language, as well as the contributions of Francophones in our culture. Whereas bilingualism constitutes a fundamental Canadian value and is celebrated in all provinces and territories in Canada. Therefore, I, Warden Oregon, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Francophone Month in the County of Victoria. So I call the meeting to order. So I have to have approval for the agenda. With the addition, add the audit committee's recommendations that we just had the audit committee. So can I get approval of the agenda with those additions? It's approved by Councillor Carr. Can I get a second by Councillor Hennick? All in favor? Thank you very much. Can I get approval of a motion to approve the minutes for the January 2026 or 2026 minutes? It's moved by Deputy Warden. Can I get a second, please? By Councillor Donovan. All in favor? Oh. Okay.
An original motion made regarding Theodore Baddeck,
Okay.
which didn't receive a second. But I'd like to propose an amendment to the minutes.
Okay. Just looking for my minutes here there. Do you want to?
There's a motion in relation to Theodore.
Yes, but there was an original motion that was made and it failed. It failed for lack of a second, but it still should be in the minutes. According to MGA.
Okay.
Okay, so I move that the minutes be amended to include the original motion regarding Theatre Baddeck, which failed for lack of a second.
Do you want to read that first? You want to read that motion out? That was,
Yes, so.
please?
Right, so the motion is that the minutes be amended to include the original motion which was made, and the original motion is the same as the second motion.
Okay.
So the second motion is that we support the second motion, which was the same as the first, is that they approve the 225,000 in funding to Theatre Baddeck for phase 2.
Okay.
So that was made and it failed for a lack of a second.
Okay. There's a motion on the table. Can I get a seconder, please?
Second.
Second by Deputy Warden. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Thank you, Warden.
Thank you, Councillor. We have the 4-H club members. So if you want, make sure the green button is on for your mic and speak into it. If you want to introduce yourselves, you have 20 minutes for your presentation, and then for questions, and we'll get the council. You want to introduce yourself first to them? We'll start right here with Councillor Matheson-Lafort.
Good morning and welcome to council today. I'm Donna Matheson-Lafort and I represent District 1, which is Wadmacook, Bucklaw, and the Washabuck Peninsula. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, welcome. I'm Perla McLeod, Councillor for District 2, Middle River, Baddeck Inlet, Big Baddeck, Nayansa, and Yankee Line. Welcome.
Good morning, all, and welcome. I'm Jess Card, District 3 Councillor for the Baddeck area here.
Good morning. My name is Fraser Patterson. I'm the councillor for District 5, which is the other side of Kelly's Mountain. And believe it or not, I was once a member of 4-H. Just around the dinosaurs.
Welcome. My name is Rosella Bourne, District 4, and that would be South Haven, St. Anne's, up to Wreck Cove, Englishtown, and welcome. I just love having you here today, and hopefully something in the future you might consider within council. So welcome. Thank you.
Morning, welcome. My name's Tim Donovan. I'm councillor for District 6, which is Ingonish and surrounding area. And like Councillor Patterson, I too was a 4-H member only about a week ago when I was younger.
Hello, my name is Wanda Hennick. Welcome. I'm the councillor for District 8. That's Dingwall, Cape North, Sugarloaf, Ashby Bay, Bay St. Lawrence, and Capstick. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Jackie Organ. I'm the warden, also a councillor for District 7. That's from Ingonish to Wanda's district there in South Harbour. Before you start your presentation, I'd like to remind all council to please have your phone shut off and put away. We don't want any interruptions. So if you could do that, please. And we'll start with you guys. Go ahead.
You guys just say your names. Pass them down.
Isabel here. My name is Leah Purvis.
And Donna McLeod.
This one's that. I have to do it again. Push the green button on the green shot.
It's online now.
Just bring it close to you there. Yeah. Start on this side. And
Donna McLeod. My name is Adam Malcolm. I'm here today. ACAP Cape Breton. I'm familiar with us. We are an environmental nonprofit organization founded back in the 90s in CBRM to address industrial pollution, steel plants, and other industries. But over the years, we've grown a lot, and in more recent years, we've begun expanding our programs across the island. So we work in environmental education, environmental restoration, monitoring, as well as waste diversion. So I actually am here from Richmond County, and my job is an environmental project coordinator. And a particular project I'm working on is called Riparian Zone Ready. In this project, since the spring, I've been working with 5 different youth groups across the island. And the aim has been to identify a stream and riparian area, which my colleagues here, and they are my colleagues, we have been working closely together for the past many months, identify a stream and riparian area in need of restoration work, and actually learn together about the process that restorationists use to restore these riparian zones, identify one in or around the community of the youth group, present to council, and actually carry out the work in the plan. So in this case, we were working on private land again, which my colleagues will tell you about shortly. So we'd like to let you know today what we've done so far and what we have planned for coming couple months. And without further ado, I should ask, there's a slide presentation that would be on here. One more thing, we are keen parts of system counties, so things come up.
So interestingly, we've been trying to partner with ACAP. So Morgan is our waste diversion coordinator, and she's going to maybe catch you on your way out.
Good morning, councillors and general public of Victoria County. We are members of the Baddeck Valley 4-H Club, and we have taken on a special partnership with ACAP Cape Breton to improve the riparian zone and fish habitat for Peters Brook and Big Baddeck. I am Emmett Gordon. The other club members presenting today are Emily Purvis, Leah Purvis, and Isabel Ham. I would now like to pass the floor over to Isabel, who will introduce you to our project.
The importance of Peters Brook in the day-to-day. For many years, homes and businesses in Baddeck relied on water flowing from Peters Brook, and shortages in low flow have pushed people to drill new wells and look for alternate water supplies. Local community and environment groups stated in 2001 that without the water from Peters Brook feeding the local water system, Baddeck's modern life and services, including sewage treatment, would be difficult to maintain, showing how central the brook is to everyday life. A wider history and the connection to the Big Baddeck River. Peters Brook, the Baddeck River, and the Badore Lake form an interconnected watershed in Mi'kma'ki, where the Mi'kmaq people lived, traveled, hunted, and fished long before Loyalist and Scottish settlement. As settlement expanded in the 1800s, Big Baddeck Valley developed into farmlands, and Baddeck became a service center, while Peters Brook functioned as a small but crucial watercourse supporting the growing village at the edge of the Badore Lake. I will now be handing the mic to Emily.
So what is a riparian zone? A riparian zone is the interface between land and waterways, such as rivers, streams, and lakes. It is an important transition zone between aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems that is home to a diverse array of plants and organisms. Riparian zones play a crucial role in protecting waterways. They filter sediment from runoff, stabilize shorelines, support biodiversity, regulate water temperature, and contribute to the overall health of the watershed. I'll now pass it to Leah.
What does a healthy riparian zone look like? A healthy riparian zone has features such as consistent water flow, stable banks, cool, clean water, nutrient-rich soil, and shaded areas that help keep temperatures cool and provide protection for fish to spawn. It will also show evidence of wildlife activity, as in various fish species, insects, pollinators, and amphibians. There should be many types of birds and mammals like beaver, deer, and rabbits, while also having abundant vegetation, including native trees, shrubs, and various ferns and grasses. Vegetation is a crucial feature of healthy riparian zones because the deep root systems help slow the rate of erosion, filter pollutants, reduce sediment, and provide habitat, shelter, and food for wildlife, which encourages biodiversity. And what work have we done at Petersbrook to improve riparian zone and stream health? With ACAP's guidance, our club assessed the current state of the riparian zone and waterway, which involved looking at what types of rocks were in the riverbed, identifying insects and plants, estimating how many fish could live in the river, and taking measurements of the river's width and the length of the banks. We used this information to observe how these factors might change over the course of time and what we can do in order to further support Petersbrook. Our 4-H club planted over 600 trees along the bank and around the riparian zone, and our hope is to further prevent erosion from the side of the riverbank and to add more shaded coverage to the river for fish and other wildlife.
What work are we planning to do in the future at Petersbrook? In the future, we are hoping to improve biodiversity at Petersbrook by planting native shrubs like red osier dogwood and willow around eroded riverbanks. This would be a direct attempt at preventing further erosion along the banks. We also hope to complete some in-stream work in order to improve fish habitat within the river.
Thank you for your attention, and we hope this presentation was informative on why riparian zones are important to rivers and watersheds right here in Victoria County and across the globe. If you have any questions on the specific Petersbrook project or how this could apply to other rivers in Cape Breton, we'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Great presentation there. Do I have any questions from councilors? Okay, Councillor Matheson Lafort, you go ahead.
Just curious, how long did it take to plant 600 trees?
Well, we started out by just looking at the area where we wanted to plant the trees in order to prevent erosion because it was happening at a very fast rate. And then Adam was able to get 600 trees and we were able to plant it in like an evening with help from other club members.
Not expecting the one evening comment. Anyway, thank you. Just have one. What research was undertaken to decide what plant life to plant along the brook?
So early on, a lot of what we did was surveying the area for plant. This is sort of in an old agricultural area where the field has gone, well, the river has actually come into the field and is eating away at it. So we looked at what was growing there now. It's really hard for trees to naturally establish where meadow has been established, where grasses have been grown and a thick mat is formed. Seeds can't penetrate that thick mat of grass and hay. So yeah, we looked at the species that were present there and we brought more of them in the form of little tiny trees that we could break into that mat. So yeah, it's they're all climax Acadian tree species that we planted. So sugar maple, yellow birch, red spruce, red oak as well. Yeah, and a little bit of, we planted a few after a discussion on an earlier day, we planted a few black willow as well, because even though there are willow species on the site, there were no black willow specifically, but black willow is native to this region and they're extremely good at holding riparian areas together. Yeah. Yeah. Historical data for that particular site, I haven't seen much, but like going back, if you read even like, say, the Journal of Nicholas Denny's from 450, however many years ago, you learn that, yeah, our forests looked quite different in the past. A lot more hemlock, cedar in some areas where you would never imagine there was cedar. So yeah, we're kind of creatively trying to recreate an area that we think would approximate the way things were in the past. Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Councillor Bourne.
First, a comment. Great job.
Mhm.
It takes, I'm going to say, some courage to come before council and also to have this live stream. So kudos, you did awesome. And I truly mean that. Maybe one day these seats could be filled with you folks. So it's, I love this. But have you ever worked with the biosphere, the Badore Lakes biosphere? Because it kind of is some similarities. So that would be my question. And then number two, what is your hopes from coming here today from council? Thank you.
Personally, I have not. I've been with ACAP for about a year now, just to get this project started. But I know colleagues within ACAP. We have 4 different teams in operation, and I know they have partnered on different events, like sort of public-facing events, teaching sort of species identification or doing cleanups along the shoreline, things like that with the Biosphere Reserve. We have done that in the past. And sorry, could you repeat the second part of your question?
Like what would you like council, like how could we be involved? I know we have a department here as well that probably could help support that. But I'm just more curious of what is your ambition for today?
What do you think? Why are we here today? Anyone care to venture, or would you like me to answer? You want to try it? Yeah.
Mostly we just wanted to share what we are doing so that for the future of like making decisions about Victoria County that, you know, we just kind of remind and like the councillors that there are important places like Petersbrook and it's important to keep them healthy. And so we just wanted to share that for like future reminders, I guess, for any like environmental decisions.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah,
That's
that's great.
excellent, and that is a great reminder. Thank you.
Councillor Kerr.
Baddeck is a very important part of this area. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Gordon?
Thank you just for the last, thank you so much for coming. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm a mom, a 4-H mom, and it's very close to my heart. And thank you for the leaders. I think without them, the club will be knowing this project, and I kudo and cheer they keep going. And thank you so much for coming. And yeah, Petersbrook, thank you for choose Big Baddeck for that. And thank you.
Mentioning leaders, we should give a nod as well to Rob Gord and Jennifer Ripley, who are with us here today as well, because they've been really instrumental in getting this project off the ground too.
Job to everyone, and we're really excited to see next steps that ACAP and 4-H and all the young people can help us with, and keep us up to date on anything that you're working on. It's great. Good job.
Next, we have the North Highlands Nordic presentation.
You know. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for coming. Okay, you know us, we know you. So if you want to start your presentation, you can go right ahead.
I just want to thank you all for taking the time today for listening to our presentation.
Good morning. We are here requesting funding, as always. So we are trying to expand our garage. So after all the incredible support we've been given over the years to build this new facility, starting in 2020, we now have a gorgeous new groomer that is far too large for the space that we had originally built. So the urgency for this building extension is tied directly to our concerns for safety. The new machine is longer, taller, and wider. It was built originally around the old groomer, so it's just the function is not there. And you can see the space that we're dealing with. It's very, very compacted. Moving around all of this is very difficult to navigate. And when the groomer is full of snow, the floors are wet, which creates a concern for safety if people need to exit through the back door. We have the ATV that's in that image from Larry Maxwell. He was instrumental, as was the county, for providing funding to get that emergency equipment. NHN feels that we've demonstrated strong organizational capacity and long-term sustainability through the successful completion of multiple large-scale capital and equipment projects over the past 5 years. These projects were delivered through a combination of government funding, extensive community fundraising, and a significant contribution from our skilled volunteer laborers. Together, we've demonstrated NHN's ability to manage a complex project like this, to steward public funds responsibly, and to sustain infrastructure that's critical to safe and effective operations. So I'd like to go through some of the contributions Victoria County and the province and the government have given us. Our phase 1 of our building plan was 2020. It cost over $200,000 to build, and we received funding from ACOA and from community fundraising. And the majority of the project was built by volunteers. We expanded in phase 2 in 2022. We added a second phase of the building. It was $167,000. Victoria County contributed $20,000 to that project. Nova Scotia, the province of Nova Scotia, contributed $62,000. The remaining costs were covered by our own fundraising. And then we added the third section of the building in 2023. That was roughly $150,000. We had provincial grant support, extensive fundraising, contributions from Gillis Building and Materials. And the final outcome of that was total overall improvement of equipment storage, workflow efficiency, and long-term sustainability for our grooming operations. In 2023, we received funding to purchase the ATV that helps with backup grooming, also helps with our ability to have quick emergency response if there's an emergency out on the trails. And we received funding from the province of Nova Scotia, Victoria County, and Cross Country Nova Scotia to purchase that machine. And in 2023, we also purchased a bush hog, which is not featured in any of these photographs because there is no space for it. So a volunteer is storing that piece of equipment on their property. And then we had trail development in 2025, and the county provided a municipal trail grant for us for $10,000, and that expanded our network of trails, making a more overall improved experience and enhanced accessibility for a broader range of skill levels. And right now, we're enjoying the $437,000 groomer that we purchased with the assistance of ACOA the county and the province and our own fundraising. And it has been a dream come true for us to have such a reliable piece of equipment. Some of the things that we do to demonstrate sustainability through fundraising and community engagement. We have had Chase the Ace competitions, weekly breakfast and lunch programs, community supper events, special fundraising dinners, online auctions, gift basket raffles, pub events, and 50/50 draws. All of our fundraising projects are led by volunteers. They reflect strong community ownership and long-term commitment. Our dedication to fundraising and limiting reliance on a single funding source ensures NHN's ability to maintain infrastructure and operations. So overall, we have completed multiple high-value infrastructure and equipment projects totaling over $1 million in combined investment. This demonstrates the strong organizational capacity that we have, our sound financial management, and our long-term sustainability. Our proposed project builds directly on this proven track record, and we believe it's essential to ensuring the safe and effective and sustainable use of existing public investments. So we like to say we're a safe bet. The primary impact of having this garage section of the Nordic Centre expanded will be the unobstructed access to the emergency equipment and our exits. All of the maintenance and tools and mechanical fluids needed for the groomer will be stored out of sight. Ski equipment will be relocated to the rental office, which means less clutter in the garage and minimizing traffic in that space. And we'll have newly designated storage space for less frequently needed items related to the Nordic Centre and the cafe, so that again, clean footprint on the floor, less clutter, and more safety and storage. The risk we face if this project fails is the safety of our people. We are an outdoor sports facility and we need to have a clear emergency action plan, and that is difficult to implement when we have to take the large groomer out of the building to then bring the ATV out of the building and attach the sled for emergency use. And we have one person who is trained to do that. Specifically, that we feel the people using the facility will be benefited the most. Our season pass holders, our seniors who attend weekly social activities, children attending weekly ski lessons, and visitors coming for weekend getaways, volunteers and staff who are responsible for maintaining the Nordic Centre. And we're having more and more people in the tourism industry coming year round. And we want to make sure that we're taking care of our surrounding communities and giving them what they need. The increase in large groups scheduling ski days at NHN. We had the Family Place from Ingonish here this year. We had a group of 75 people. We provided lunch, hot chocolate, equipment, a marshmallow roasting experience. And then we also had a spectacular day with the Cape Smoky Elementary School, where we hosted 100 people, provided lunch, marshmallows, equipment. We had games for indoors on loan from Chris Woodford. We had the cross-country ski ambassador, Michelle Richards, staying to come and play games with the children outside. And to know that we can right now handle a capacity of that many people at once, we weren't sure we could do it, and we're so relieved that we can. But expanding the garage will make things like this more common, and we'll be able to do it more often because we will have more dedicated space to accommodate larger numbers. Do you have any questions for me? Or would Paula like to say something?
I just wanted to add to it that the quote that we have is like 204,000. And we already went to the province so that, you know, in contingencies that maybe we could get money from both the county and the province, and we're asking 150,000 from the province and 50,000 from you, and we will put in the rest because the quote is only good till the end of March, so we don't know if that will even go up. So with that in mind, we're just hoping whatever is left over that we'll provide. We'll do it with the funding and fundraising to get the remaining money that we need. And is there any other questions?
Yes.
Thank you for your presentation there. And we'll start with Councillor Matheson-Lafort for a question.
Thank you for coming today. Those are lovely pictures. I'm trying to streamline how I handle when presentations come. So I put on my list now, and so this is kind of for everyone. I don't know if you shared it in the package with us, if it was shared with us or not, but do you have do you have audited or independently reviewed financial statements for at least the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Showing your current reserves, administration costs and prior maintenance spending that we would be able to?
We could get that to you.
Okay, that was perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Hennick?
Hi there, ladies. Great job. Provincials went good on the weekend. I heard
Yeah.
very, very well and very nice. I just didn't realize it was the 50th year.
Next year.
Next year's the
Yes.
50th year of Nordic. So yeah, so you guys have come a long way. You and your great base of volunteers. I mean, we have one in the back there, Miss Linda Murray. She's been in with Nordic for probably the 50 years or plus for sure. But anyway, yeah, great job. And I know this project that's really close to your hearts because it's really about safety and the volunteers and the people that come there. It seems like it's getting bigger and bigger, which is great to see down in our neck of the woods. And
Yes.
I know we're getting another storm. So you guys quit dancing, will you ladies? Quit dancing. Anyway, great job.
Thank you.
Councillor Hennick, Councillor Bourne?
Do you have a strategy for every year when it comes to maintenance or like projects, like for putting money away every year, like into a capital reserve?
Yes, we do.
And what would that be?
Like the total, like, well, we got on a reserve, like just in case anything happens, like we keep a certain amount in the reserve. If anything happens to the machinery, or if we have a year that we don't have any snow, or then we still have to pay our bills. We have 2 season past
Right.
personnel that we have to pay, and we have like the power of the phone, all that. We try to keep ahead of the game to keep certain amount there. So that, because I mean, before we got the new groomer, we were paying like, 10 to 20,000 a year just on repairs.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, on the old groomer. So that's why like we're spending so much more money. But that reserve, we fundraise all year round to try to keep money in there. And because like I said, it's a hard goal when you don't know if you're going to make it through the season or not. But we've been lucky, knock on wood. But our strategy is to keep a certain amount of money aside from that, so that we hopefully don't have to touch it to pay for it.
I'm curious, do you know what our contingency is right now? What our savings for the emergency is?
Yeah, right now, I'm both, there's like 51,000.
Right. And I guess my question is more so not compared to operational savings, but for future projects like this. So
Yes.
for example, like we know a roof will last 25 years or 30 years. So do you start planning from day one to put money away for capital projects that, like, do you put?
Well, that money, well, right now, like this project here will have, need money for it. So that's one. And it was like, weren't expecting it when we got the new groomer that it was going to be that big, and we came into this problem.
Sure.
So that was we're new to like a new building and just adding on, because we added on every year. Like we did think ahead, like, okay, next year we're going to add this part on. And then so we tried to save the money for that. And with the help from you guys, every year you were amazing to us in the province and the COA. So we try to think ahead, like you said, like the bush hogger, like we paid for that ourselves, and that was $10,000. That was fundraising. We knew we needed this stuff. So we're trying to think ahead and keep that money aside.
Great. Thank you so much.
May I add something? So every phase of these projects and new pieces of equipment that we've accomplished and achieved, there's no money owing on any of these items. So everything that you have contributed and the province and ACOA has contributed and our fundraising has covered the entire building costs. We're not owing on anything. There's no mortgage. There's nothing left owing on the $400,000 groomer. So we're really excited that we can do that.
We're debt free.
Debt free, thank
Debt
you.
free.
Mental block there.
Yeah. Okay.
Deputy Warden, go ahead.
Not just, you can repeat how much the amounts, because I didn't get all of them. So the total is
204,000.
204,000.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah, to fund this project is 204,000.
And the province is giving you how much?
Well, in contingency, we're going for 150,000.
Okay. And you're asking for us?
50.
Okay. and the rest you will cover.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Like I said, it may go over because, you know, the building materials go up or if something happens, then we will be paying the rest.
Yeah, and you are applying now or?
It's already in, the grant is already in the province right now.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor Bourne?
Just kind of reminded me, will you be applying to the municipal grants coming up to support? I think they can for. So we do have our grant portal open.
Okay.
So that is something that is an option as well.
I will look into that. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's also someone coming to the hall in Neils Harbor. I think it's in the 11th of March that will help guide you through. They won't fill out the application for you, but they'll help you guide through it to explain more to it if you.
Okay.
That's on a Wednesday.
Okay.
The 11th. So, but look into the grant.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions? I know I was down there on the weekend for the breakfast. Amazing bunch of volunteers and a group. It's hard to get in on that men's table in the corner, but anyways.
That's the breakfast club.
That's the breakfast club.
The hen club.
But yes, well, thank you for coming and, okay, go ahead.
So the municipal grant goes to $20,000 max. Yeah. So the ask here, and you haven't heard from the province on if you are receiving the provincial funding. So this ask is more than what
they have
would be part of a municipal grant.
Yeah.
That's why I think we came in person.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patient in for a grant for so much, right?
And that's for is there a, so when did you say your quote is good until?
This quote is the end of March.
The end of March.
Yeah.
So that is this fiscal.
Yeah.
Those grants are for next fiscal.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, next fiscal, we wanted this.
Can we table this for budget? Yeah, we're going to discuss this at budget and you will be hearing from us.
Thank you.
Thank you again for coming.
Thank you for taking the time in hearing us. Have a great day.
Ladies. Safe travels home. Next, we're going to have the North Highlands Community Museum. Dr. Ken Murray, Linda, and is Ken coming up with you too? Okay. See ya. You. Yep. Yes. Good morning, gentlemen. Before we get started, I'm going to get the councillors to introduce themselves and then I know who you two are, but I'll get you to introduce yourselves to council. And I am noting that Councillor Hennick has recused herself. She's at the back of the room. I'm sorry, since she's on an employee of the museum, she cannot take part in this communication. So we'll start here at Councillor Matheson-Lafort.
Okay, welcome. Councillor Donna Matheson-Lafort from District 1, so Washabuck Peninsula, Wadmacook, and Buckla area. Thank you for coming today.
Good morning, welcome. Perla McLeod, councillor from District 2, Big Baddeck, Middle River, Baddeck Inlet, Nyanza, and Yaqui Line. Welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to council, as Councillor Kerr just said. My name is Fraser Patterson. I'm the councillor for District 5, which is basically the other side of Kelly's Mountain. New Harris, Ross Ferry, Big Blower, Bullet East, Bullet Center. There's a whole bunch of Bullet East. Anyway, you get the idea. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to council. My name is Rosella Bourne. I'm in District 4, so that would be Big Harbor, Englishtown, South Haven, all through up to the North Shore, Wreck Cove, to pretty much to the base of Smoky into the next district. So welcome. Thank you.
Morning, gentlemen. Welcome. My name's Tim Donovan. I am district councillor for District 6, which is from the summit of Smoky to North Ingonish.
Good morning, I'm Jackie Organ. I'm the warden and councillor for District 7, which is from Ingonish down to South Harbor. Now you can introduce yourselves. I've known Dr. Murray since I was a teenager. So. We're having technical difficulties. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes. Hear me? Okay, that's better. Some quite major capital needs this season and looking ahead for the next two. So I'd just like to tell you a little about ourselves, who we are and the background and what we do and what we need. So anyway, this is our museum located at the corner of the Cabot Trail and the Bay St. Lawrence Road. Modern buildings, 24 years old now. Very, very attractive, well-designed building, and it houses our museum and its artifacts in a very nice space, very welcoming space. Our museum began, a little history, in July 1979, and when it opened in this earlier building, built in the style of a settler's cabin, which reminiscent of how people, the early pioneers, would have lived. It was very attractive, very welcoming, quaint building. It served its time for about 22 years, but it got to a point where it just had outlived, it wasn't a heated building, it wasn't good for preserving photographs, documents, and art and artifacts. The lady in the red dress is Ruth Morrison, and our whole museum was really her vision. She and her husband, Alistair, ran Morrison's Restaurant, which still exists, still in operation at the just adjacent to where our museum is. And back in the 50s, she started gathering old furniture, photographs, documents, household appliances, farm tools, fishing tools. People were throwing these out, and she said, no, we've got to hang on to some of these. And she started gathering them, and they used to be on display in the restaurant. The restaurant was, in a way, our first museum, the first museum until 1979. And Ruth, who was a very forward-thinking and a real got things done and had the connections. She and others got together and had funding to open the first museum in 1979. Now, back to our current museum, which opened in 2002, we have very attractive, professionally designed paneling, which just gives information about our local history, the local history from settlers' time up to the current day. We get lots of favorable reviews for the displays and how they're laid out. The museum also includes a reception area, small gift shop. Try to sell locally made things to the extent we can, but of course people look for postcards and little junky little souvenirs of Nova Scotia or Lighthouse, so we sell lots of those too. We have a temporary exhibit area in the back of the museum and a small research library. Upstairs is our collections, our artifacts. We have way more than we can display, and these are among the items that Ruth would have collected over the years and have been donated since. We're out of space. We need to expand and reconfigure our space. That's not part of our current request today. Our museum also includes the former Cape North United Church, which is right next door. In 2008, I believe, the museum acquired this for $1. The church had closed, and with a combination of funding from various sources, from a lot of community effort, a lot of pro bono in-kind labor, we've built this attractive culture center, we call it now. This is where we have our music presentations. We have workshops. We have rental space downstairs. People will rent it for weddings, community meetings, private functions, and birthday parties. So this is open year round. This operates year round. So this was a very successful collaborative project, and this is a very, very valuable resource to us. This is where we have usually about at least 4 times a year. We like to have concert events, and 2 familiar local artists, I'm sure, who come not every year, but they're very, very popular when they come down. We also 2 years ago, for the first time, we started having Gaelics. It's kind of, we're a little blocked out. Nothing I can do to block out that little window, I guess, is there? That's, yeah, but in any event, this is a little informal Gaelic learning session. You don't need any background, and these have been very well received, and we want to keep doing this. We'll be doing these this summer. We also, in about the same time as the church, I think it was around 1907, acquired this historic local forge, the McIsaac Forge, which dates back to 1922. It was moved on to our property and refurbished. Again, that was a major project with collaborative funding and a lot of local volunteer efforts. So we now have an operating forge where usually at least 2 students will get instruction each year. Now, unfortunately, his picture's blocked out, but on the left is John McDonald from Big Baddeck, who's some of you may know. John is a master craftsman, a master blacksmith. He loves to come down and teach. He usually will teach 2 or more students each summer in basic metalwork, and then they're able to do this. A few of them have gone on, a few of the ones we've had over years have gone on to pursue their ironwork or metalwork further. Last fall, John came down and did an adult, we got some funding for him to come down and do an adult blacksmith session, which was a big hit. Now, here, again, we're blocked out. So this is our board of directors, myself, Jose Sabra, Naomi Stockley, Ray Fraser, Norm McDonald, Ken Donovan, and Caleb Dusky, our managers, Wanda Hennick. Last year, we were very lucky to get funding for 5 student positions. Normally, we're satisfied if we get 3. And last summer, for the first time, we hired a part-time assistant to help just with our weekend coverage, and in the fall, just to take a little load off of our manager. We had up till 2 years ago, we were open about 80 days a year and open 5 days a week. And we really thought, if we're going to expand our capacity and our revenue and our sustainability, we have to be open more. So we took a plunge. We're open now about, I think, about 110 days a year. We're aiming for about 120. And if we can generate, our goal is to generate enough revenue that we can hire another person. We really need 2 people for it to run well and for it to maintain itself. So where does our money come from? CMAP, Community Museums Assistant Program, we apply to that each year. We get 13,000 and a bit. That's been pretty static the last few years. So that's basically what we get for operations, and that goes toward all expenses. We had 5 student positions last summer. No guarantee we're going to get that this year. Canada Summer Jobs, Young Canada Works, municipalities. We get revenue through our gift shop, but it's small. We don't have too much room to expand on that. Our events, fundraising activities, online auction, Duck raffles, Chase the Ace. We collaborate with the North Highlands Museum on Chase the Ace. Our admissions, people coming through the door, and we do get donations. Last year we got a couple of generous donations, so we took in more than usual. But again, that's year to year. We're never fully sure. So where does our money go? This is not the full picture, but big things are wages. We got really hit with power bills last year, and we got another big one in January, and we're trying to sort that out. That sets back a bit. Insurance is expensive. Maintenance was expensive this last year. Cleaning, and a lot of that cleaning goes to our washrooms. We forgot to mention that we do, in collaboration with the county, operate public washrooms for the traveling public, and of course we get a lot of assistance from the county, which is very, very welcome. Phone, internet, there's events are a cost, and the gift shop, we get money from the gift shop, but the gift shop is a cost to us as well. So some of the things we do every year, we have a Canada Day gathering. We had a Forge open house last summer, and quilting is an activity. It's the lowest. We don't sponsor the quilters. They use our space, and they gave us this attractive quilt on the right to auction to sell tickets on. And once every several years, they'll do a major quilting display. So that's an activity that's ongoing. In years past, we used to have weaving. We had a experienced weaver, and they would train the students, the interested students. And so we have this collection of small looms that have been out of use. And last year we had 2 ladies from the Gaelic College come down, look at our looms, and some of them, the smaller ones especially, are very usable. They need a little cleaning, refurbishment, but our plan is to reestablish some weaving activity this summer and get the students doing this. This is a great activity they can be doing even while they're at work. We had, every summer we have a special exhibit in our temporary space. 2 years ago, oysters and oil paintings, a little look into a little niche in our local histories. This was a very fascinating project, uncovered lots of things didn't know. with Ken's daughter Suzanne, who's an artist by training, had a very novel idea last summer. This is kind of a traditional local art form where people would paint the linoleum mats to give their house a little color. Back in pioneer time, they'd make their own decorations. So we crafted an exhibit around this, and we had a workshop where people came and did their own artwork, and it was a beyond our expectations as far as being successful. We're hoping we can do that again. And this past summer, extending into this summer, we're going to be honoring our local veterans. Last year was the 80th year from the end of the Second War. So what do we need? I think probably better than this is what I circulated to you. So our needs in sort of in priority, the top five, like we need a new roof. It's starting to show its age. Shingles lifting up, some are blowing off, and you know, we don't want to wait till it gets terrible. I don't think we can do that this summer, but perhaps the following summer. I'll show you photographs. Our side deck at the museum needs to be replaced. More immediate, we need new steps, with proper steps with railings on the front of the building. Remedial work on the grounds around our septic system. We had a significant septic system failure last year, and it backed up into the museum, and it was kind of a quite messy situation. We had to get plumbers and excavators in and fix it, and we were happy again for the support of the county. Some immediate things below, we need a new fire alarm panel. This is the quote. We need new backup heating. I think we'll make it through this winter, but for next winter, that's the quote we've got. We'll look for other quotes. We've had some major repairs on our new computer unit on our external heat pump. We've already gone ahead and done these, not the fire panel, but with the heating unit. And we need repairs to our automatic wheelchair accessible door, and that's the quote from Breton Glass. So cost of those, the $7,584. Interior repairs to the washroom, I didn't include that above that, roughly $13,000. We've applied to the community access and ability program for $30,103. We don't know how much we'll get, and at most we'll get 2/3 of that. So our share would be $9,934.12. So total projected costs, $158,018.92. I think the roof and the deck would wait to another season, but most of these other ones we'd really like to do this year. And to the extent we can, we will of course be applying to the county for as we do every year, and we've been communicating. We want to how we can best strategize and what we can include, and of course we'll have to contribute a portion of that. That would mostly have to do with our with the fire alarm and heating units, and we've looked at other sources. We've looked at community culture and heritage. We've been in touch with the program officers. There's lots of funding for an activity space like our culture center, the old church, or if you're having if it's directed toward a program or your sustainability or environmental or efficiency or heating efficiency or inclusivity, you know, and recreation. There's lots of funding for those, funding for activities. Not so much, haven't been successful like for a new roof, a new deck, a new, there's not much out there, at least haven't found much yet, but very open. Well, we're continuing to look. To the extent we can get help from elsewhere, we will. And yeah, I know we've been in touch with Diane Timmons, who's looking on our behalf, as well as Mike McSween, the program person at Community Culture and Heritage, and they're looking for us. And so, but anyway, so those are our needs in a nutshell. We want the washroom refurbishment. That's a big one. Our washrooms are very well used. We probably had, as well as we can count, we had about 9,000 people come into the museum through the front door. We don't capture everybody because we're open. Washrooms are open 3 weeks before, 3 weeks after our season. We don't capture evening traffic, and of course, even in the daytime, we have a separate side entrance. We don't capture that traffic. So there's easily a couple of thousand that we're not capturing in that. So, but the washrooms are the tourists are very grateful, and of course some stay, as we hope, and maybe buy a little something or visit our museum. But that's so it's a bit of a win-win there. So. So this is just a little better look at a museum, just to see our front door, our washroom door on the side with ramp. The door has a faulty panic bar, and even that little repair, it's going to cost $1,000 because they have to come from Sydney. And the other refurbishment, I'm standing very close to where the septic bed is, and what's happened, a lot of these plants have grown over, and they're very attractive, some of them, and there's some old rare plants, but these are kind of a hazard for our septic system, and you can see the edge of the trees. Those have to be thinned out, and you have to be careful how to do it. And we have we're getting a separate quote for that work, but we guess that could cost as much as about 13,000 just for, and also to replace. There's a little perimeter pole fence that doesn't show in the photograph that is crumbling and needs to be replaced. I'd show you our deck here. This deck was built with the museum, and it very sturdy. We'd have barbecues out here. We'd have music and have events, and people could sit out and have a refreshment on a nice day. But it's separating from the building. You can sort of see how, and it's been propped up several times, and it seems to settle, and the little prop is leaning there. So we use it, but we don't use gatherings on it. So we would like to have a new deck, and that should be a big cost. Oh, and I'll show you the roof. The roof I'm talking about, you can't really see it close. This is a picture from last summer, but the shingles are lifting, and especially on the other side where the wind hits, some of the shingles are blown off. So we'd like to, if we can get a good metal roof, we're good for 50 years as far as that goes. So we've been extremely lucky. Like, we've managed to, once in a while, a big repair would come along, and we could just, we had the funds on hand. We dipped into our budget, to our revenues, and we were able to cover it. Or occasionally we'd have somebody who would just pro bono fix things. We're very lucky in that regard. We did lose two very, very key people in the last 2 years. Kathleen McLeod was one, who was our archives person, and Kevin Chasson, he and his wife Heather were sort of the soul of the museum for a long, long time. And there's just future things I should mention, we had a good year with our extended hours last year. Our revenues were about 21,000 above what we spent, but that is already earmarked. That money is what we would like to put in salary for another person. We have other projects. We want to refurbish this green space. You can see the pole fence there that I'm talking about, and make it a what we call a peace garden, commemorating the early Indigenous and non-Indigenous settlers. And we'd like to We need to reconfigure our archives, and last summer we had the students kind of involved with that, digitizing some of it so people can do things online. So lots of things we'd like to do, like, whatever we make goes right back into the museum. So anyway, that's the story. We'd love to have you come down sometime and have a meeting to show you around and see it for yourselves. I think we have a very unique little repository that decades of work by others have gone into, and we really want to keep this all going. So we're most lucky to have Ken Donovan, who is a historian both by profession and by passion, on our board, and he's been a great asset to us. And I just wanted to say a word or two about perhaps our museum and museums.
Well, thank you, Ken. I'm here for moral support. Let's put it that way. It's good to see everybody. I'm a native of Ingonish. I live there now, and I've lived there pretty well all my life, except to go away to work and go to school. But I'd just like to tell you why I'm so proud to be associated with this museum and cultural center. I'm a scholar. I've published over 100 scholarly publications that are available online. And scholarly publications just mean published in a peer-reviewed journal, blind peer-reviewed. Okay, so you got to pass all the hurdles, and it's like a process. So once you learn how to do it, it's pretty good, actually. But I've dedicated my life to history since I was about 10 years old. I was always very proud of where I came from. And I just can't believe how good an institution this little museum is. I have a lot of experience in museums, 35 years working at Lewisburg as a professional historian, over 30 years teaching at Cape Breton University. And so I have got some context to bring to this. I have about 8 books besides those 100 scholarly articles, and you can check online for any of this stuff. And I'm doing a lot on Ingonish and Northern Cape Breton. So we have a lot of new material appearing, and it lends itself to exhibits. And when you can have research and tie it to an exhibit, that's the ideal marriage. And this museum is really part of the cultural infrastructure of the county. We're aware of the Bell Museum, and it has a national and international reputation, but this is a community museum focusing on Northern Cape Breton. So if anybody comes to visit and they want to know about Northern Cape Breton, I say to them, well, there's some material you can read, but you have to go visit North Highlands Community Museum, because it really is a cultural anchor for this county, especially north of Smoky. And so I just wanted to tell you how proud I am to be involved with it, and how proud I am to speak there and to work with the students. And the students get an education. When they come there and you talk to them before they start working, and then after, it's incredible. The people are not only learning about themselves through this institution, but the students especially. So a little moral support, and I just want to tell you how proud I am of this institution, and we look forward to any support you can provide. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, we'll start here at Councillor Mathis on the fort.
This is more of a fangirl thing. I had to read so much of your stuff, Ken, that I never thought I'd be sitting around a table with you, because I went through St. Mary's doing historical archaeology and then worked with everybody from Jonathan Fowler to Katie Quattro Robbins. So it's kind of cool that you're here. Thank you for coming. My question is just, I was going to ask if you would be able it'd be possible for you to, because I want to keep my ask consistent. Would you be able to share at least the last 2 years worth of financial statement? Yeah. Yeah, perfect. That's all I wanted to do. But, and again, thank you for coming. It was a great presentation, and I can't believe I got to see Ken Donovan in real life.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Bourne. Thank you. Thank you so much for that presentation. And I could feel that very heartfelt with what's, very passionate about the project. But, and I do agree with the cultural part of it and the history, and just to keep that identity. It's very, very important. So kudos for you both and for the team behind it. I wanted to take a note to say and ask, because I think you had asked inside your presentation, if there was anything else as far as supports that could be out there that might help steer this project. And there is through Communities Facilities Improvement Program. So that is for your roof.
Touch with the program officer, and I mentioned specifically, we're looking for a new roof, and twice in touch with her, and there, as I understand it, and if I'm off here, please let me know, but that would. Dr.
Murr, can you speak into the microphone there, please? Thank you. It's so people at home can hear you too.
That's right. Sorry. That would be more geared to our church, the cultural center, like a center where you can have activity year round, like we do there. The museum it is our museum, and we have activity there to a degree, not in the winter months. So she said you can apply, but she didn't give me strong encouragement that they would fund a roof. But now I'm very open. If you think we can be creative.
My suggestion would be to apply.
Mhm.
It's not my understanding that it's for seasonal. It's such great work that you do up there, and I believe it's up to $50,000 possibly. I can't remember exactly, but it is there. Now the deadline just passed for this past year, but usually in the fall it opens again, and it usually ends in February.
To do the roof this year, but
for next year.
Planning the next 3 years.
Absolutely. And then the second thing I noticed, the province also has a program called Skills, and that is for provincial employment for students. And it would be folks that would be in college or university that would probably be taking something similar. And it's up to 14 weeks. So that might help with your other seasonal employment with having someone there a little bit longer compared to the summer student program, which is 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's another application that would fund a good portion of that salary.
Sure. We are looking at a start for this. We applied to start last year, and we were close, but our candidate was going to be going into another field, like she wouldn't have been eligible to rehire. But other than that, I think we would have had a start grant. So we'd like to do that. That would help us for this summer too. But we're aware of the skills grant,
right,
and we'll keep that on the radar as well.
The only thing else that I had, it was just kind of like I shared it with the other group that was here. Do you have a capital budget? Like, do you have something kept in reserve every year just for capital budgets for this type of work?
Have a set aside budget. Like we've been extremely fortunate since the museum opened. When something big came up, we were able to cover it from within our budget, and sometimes somebody in the community would pitch in. And but we that's something I think we have to build. That's part of our expanding our capacity and our hours and our revenues. We with cost of things now, we have to build that. So it's been strictly within our budget to this.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you again for being here today.
Sure. Yeah. And one thing I should add, that 120,500, that was kind of a preliminary quote I got from a local contractor, and looking at cost of things and roofs and decks and wood, we'll probably get multiple quotes on that when and we'll look for other funding. So that's the quote we have. It wouldn't surprise me if by the time we get to it, it's higher than that. Of course, yeah.
Anyone else? Councillor Donovan.
Not really a question so much as it is a comment or two. I'm sure you both remember my older brother, Brian. He was kind of our family historian. He was I guess an amateur historian, but he instilled in me how important it was to preserve history and to do things like you're doing. In fact, when you walked into his home, his front entryway was basically a mini museum. So again, like I said, he instilled in me the importance it is to do that. So I really appreciate what you folks are doing down there.
If I may just say something, it seems to me that we're going through a period in the Western world, perhaps beyond, where the study of history and literature and music and the arts in general is in decline. So, Donna, you mentioned going to university at St. Mary's. Well, at St. Mary's, guess what? They've been dropping a lot of their professional programs for the study of history and literature and the arts. And I personally think it's the arts that keeps us alive. I really believe that. Live music, history, all of these things are critical to our survival. So we go through dips in these periods, but we'll be on the rise again. But someplace like Victoria County, right down there where that museum is, when I take them there, people are mighty impressed. And the 1-2 punch, of course, when they go to a talk at the cultural center and then they take in the museum. So these things work. They work. The rest of the world may be tilting away from it a bit, but we're small, but we can show leadership in the world. We really can. People look to small communities, as you know, because we're all from small communities. So Nova Scotia does not have any legislation that recognizes, well, 4 counties, but we don't have a program that recognizes older houses. Well, we have over a 200-year-old house in Ingonish that we've restored the period. And I'm determined to have it the first house recognized as a provincial heritage property. Okay? So I say don't give up, because I'll never. Okay? And we welcome any support that you can give us for this cultural institution. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
You just to check with you, you have some about the washrooms.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a washroom. It's a grant conference for operation for the season. Do you apply for that?
Say again.
The operation, we have an operation grant for washrooms. So
we do have an arrangement with the county.
Yep.
So
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
we work closely with
Okay.
with the group for the washrooms.
Okay.
So that's that, and closes, and that's and also in the weeks before and the weeks after. We're thinking like we're usually open mid-May till the end of October, but thinking of longer, because people are telling us there's traffic on the road in May, even in April, like it might.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure you was taking that
Yes,
for that help. And the other is the RBC Barrier Buster Grant. Is if you want to just talk to, I think the staff, Yvette Rogers, she can give you some funding links.
Okay, yes.
I just find one, the RBC Barrier Buster Grant Program is going to the RBC. Yeah, and it's up to 40,000, and it's looking for washrooms. So the deadline is March 15. So you just want to stop to see her,
Yes.
and maybe she can.
Send her application into the accessibility. So I mean, we can apply elsewhere too, I guess, but we have to.
Yeah, but it's a lot of grants there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give your email, and she can just send you all the fundings around. So it's a great information for you for funding for the next year. To Yvette, yeah, Rogers.
Yes, I know Yvette, yes. So,
Okay,
well, I'm in touch with Yvette often. She sends me lots of links.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, well, click them, and it's a lot of information there. Just to grab, how much you asking?
Let's, for this year, I'll now, not the 127,500, but well, the 7,584. Now, the other thing, the washroom repairs, like we'll get 2/3 of that covered, but would still leave us a bill for $9,000. And the other thing, and I don't have the breakdown here, would be the repair of the pole fence and septic bed. And I think, gosh, yeah. I can give you a more precise figure on that. That would be about 17,000. So a number 17, 825. Like for this year, 35,000, but we would, we'll contribute to that what we can. But of course, we're
Yeah,
limited.
just to have an idea how much you want.
For this year, and then we'll get quotes on the others for, yeah.
Yeah, and I invite you to the operation of the capital grant from the county. It's open, so by the end of the month of March. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks for your suggestions there.
Dr. Murray, I'm unclear of how 35. So you're asking for the estimated cost interior repairs to the public washroom is 13,000, right?
No, I guess, I'm sorry, this is a little confusing. No, see, that would be under the grant. So I guess of what's there, I think I didn't give a breakdown there. I think it was the septic system, remediation and perimeter fence would be about 7,000. The cost of our heating and fire alarm panel, that would be 7,584. And then, of course, we would still have to, for washrooms, 9,934.12. So 17,775.84 and 9,934.12. So those three, 7 and 714. So that would be like 35 would that. But then we'd be looking for roof and other things for next year.
Yeah, I'm not a numbers person, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around here. Yeah, estimated cost for
Suggestion. If you wouldn't mind sending us what your ask is, because I think we might have some room in the washroom fund. So if you sent us your ask, then we could put together a bit of a suggestion of if we have some room to fund some of that.
Sure.
So if you, Dr. Murray, send me an email. We're in contact quite a bit, I think, with how things are going.
Later today.
Yeah, and then we can bring it back to council for our next meeting. That's okay?
Yeah, like a breakdown totally of, like what you're really asking for, especially for this year, for your washrooms, your fire alarm and all that.
So yes, and we'll, what we hope we'll get a favorable response from the CAAP, but that remains to be determined.
Yeah.
That would take.
We know that. So, but if you could give us an itemized list of what the total ask is for. And you can send it directly to Leanne there, please. And then we'll get back to you after council. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for our panel? Okay, we're back for council here. We're in the council discussions. First one was net zero community building project. You all read that. Does anyone have any comments or questions or anything about it? Councillor Mathis and Laforte.
No, I wanted to know if there's anything wrong with moving that the recommendations at the end of the report be accepted. Has everybody had a chance to read the report?
There's a question on the table here. Anyone have any other questions on the net zero community building project? Yeah, it's just recommendation.
Yeah, there's 2 recommendations.
4 recommendations. Can I just?
Go ahead, Councillor Bourne.
But there is just one recommendation at the bottom is that whether I'm reading the report correctly?
Yes.
4. 4, but then the recommendations at the bottom of the report from staff, correct? Thank you.
I move that we accept the recommendation at the bottom of the report for the net zero project.
There's a motion on the table. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bourne. All in favor or discussion? All in favor? Motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
So the next one is the phone and internet compensation. You read that? Is there any comments or recommendations or discussion on that report? Councillor Matheson Laforte.
After the information was presented to us and we discussed it at COW, I am fine with staying with the model that we've currently been using of submitting receipts. That's just my opinion, though. I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Councillor Bourne.
I agree. I'm fine with that as well. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything?
So as is, continue on. Is that the recommendation? Okay.
So those that are submitting receipts will do so, and those that are not will be getting the
T2200.
Yes. Okay. Just to make sure that that's what's going on. Okay. Also, the information report on the request to waive interest. I think Councillor Patterson, you're the one that brought this up.
Yes, thank you very much, Warden. I'd like to thank Alex, first of all, for the comprehensive report on this item. It laid out all the information. And I guess, trying to be consistent, I think I would like to move that we invite the people involved to make a presentation to council.
That's what we normally ask if they have a
That's one of the recommendations.
Yes.
For too. Yeah.
So
I have a question.
Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
If the report say they asked for and they didn't pay. They didn't pay the full, right? It's my understanding they never pay the 4 properties. Correct?
That's correct. My understanding is that not Alex there? Yes, it's.
I don't think it's not going like they want the tax go out, check the tax, but they didn't pay the tax. Like we had it last time, another one, but they pay. And then they came to council to take taxes, but these properties, they never been paid. I don't know, it's not going to go, in my opinion.
But excuse me, council has the final decision.
Yeah.
So I'm just questioning that we now, for this case and other cases that may come in the future, that we ask the people involved to make a presentation to council. That's all the motion is.
Well, they could, yeah, like this. Okay, just want to clarify if I understand that. They didn't pay, still not we do tax and they want to come to take the tax.
So it is the wishes of council. If we want these, the person that's requesting to waive the interest to come in and talk, and in future for have anybody that, is that what you're asking there, Councillor Patterson?
Yes.
To make this, is that not what we used to do in the past? Right? If you have something wrong that they come state their case to council? Am I not wrong there?
Well, I think the warden says council makes the final decision.
Mhm.
Council should have the information from the people involved.
Okay, well, you will ask the person that this is to come to council, to make an appointment to come to council to state their case. Do you want to? Yeah, can you make that into a motion there?
Yeah, okay. Again, then I move that we ask the people involved in the case of the interest payment to make a presentation to council.
There's a motion on the table. Can I get a seconder, please? Second by Councillor Donovan. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, you discussion? Oh, sorry, I thought you were too quick to. Go ahead, Councillor.
Just to be clear then, this is only in the context of asking for interest payment relief, right? Just interest relief. No other errors or omissions or anything else involving property taxes? Just interest? Okay, that's it. I just want to clarify.
So can you modify your motion there then, if for the interest?
Sure. You okay, Maureen, with that? Okay,
Okay,
got it.
so all in favor?
Aye.
Against? So motion carried, so we'll ask them to come into council too. Next is the NSFM Spring Conference, which is being held in Yarmouth. I know. I had Steph look into hotel rooms. There's nothing left in the Rod that where the conference is being held. I need to know if any council members are interested in going.
Interested?
Okay, just 1 second here. Let me write this down. Okay, so Councillor Bourne, Councillor Patterson, yeah.
So we have a county vehicle that is available for booking. Yep.
So Councillor Matheson,
Second,
Councillor Hennick.
Aye.
Vehicle is available to be used.
Okay, so we have Councillor Patterson, Councillor Bourne, Councillor Matheson Lafort, Councillor Hennick, myself, and you're going to check, Councillor Donovan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so she did block rooms off at, I can't remember.
Another, she has rooms booked at another hotel.
Yes.
So, Councillor Donovan, if you can get, so you all have to do your own registration, I believe.
Once we get there, yes. I think so, isn't it?
I think it's online.
Yes. Oh, no, I mean, with the NSFM, we'll have to register.
Yes.
Yes.
And then if you can let Steph know, if you are a yay or a nay, and then she can adjust the rooms.
I will send this list except for Councillor Donovan to Steph for hotels rooms. Okay. Next on the agenda, council reports. So since you've been first most of the day, Councillor Matheson report, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Warden. District 1 report. I'm going to start with Little Narrows ferry operations. Following several public inquiries regarding the operation of the Little Narrows ferry, or lack thereof at certain times, I sought clarification directly from the responsible authorities to ensure accurate reporting of policies and procedures. I was told the ferry operates under clearly defined safety protocols designed to protect both passengers and equipment, specifically wind limitations. Ferry operations are suspended when wind speeds exceed 30 knots. And regarding ice conditions, the ferry does not operate when ice obstructs the crossing. The vessel is not equipped to break through ice, as doing so could damage the ferry cable, creating serious safety and operational risks. These measures reflect a commitment to providing a safe and reliable service, because many constituents have compared the newer ferry to the older ferry. They are two different boats, absolute different sizes, so that's why there's new rules. So for winter road maintenance, knock on wood, based on the limited number of concerns reported this past month, the clearing and salting of our roads in District 1 have generally been effective. One issue was raised through the warden regarding Dunn Road, and this matter was promptly referred to Public Works for follow-up. Now, I have an issue about property taxes, which I wanted to be very clear on the motion. Barra Food Bank and former Councillor McNeil contacted me about outstanding property taxes for the Barra Food Bank. It was recently brought to my attention that the Barra Food Bank received a notice regarding outstanding property taxes. As previously reported to Council, a long-serving board member, Michael McNeil, passed away unexpectedly. Mr. McNeil had managed many of the organization's administrative responsibilities, and the remaining board members have since been working to identify and organize those matters. As well, it has since been determined that in prior years, my predecessor, Paul McNeil, reminded the board members and Mr. McNeil annually to apply for tax relief through the Municipal Grants Program. Unfortunately, the application was not submitted last year, as I was newly elected at the time, and I was unaware of the long-standing arrangement of reminding them every year to tick that box. So the proposed motion is that Council waive the outstanding property tax for the Barra Food Bank of $862.76 in light of the exceptional circumstances that led to the oversight in submitting the annual tax relief application. And just a reminder of the Barra Food Bank catchment area. The Barra Food Bank serves residents in the following areas: from the foot of Barrashwa Mountain westward, including all communities through to Grand Narrows, Derby Point, along Highway 216, including communities as far as Castle Bay, along Highway 223 from Iona Community westward, the Portage Road, Alba, Orangedale, Waikagama, Little Narrows, and all communities throughout the Washabuck Peninsula. Thank you. So again, there's a motion to waive the outstanding property tax balance in light of the exceptional circumstances that led to the oversight in submitting the annual tax relief application.
There's a motion on the table. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councillor Donovan. Discussion? Councillor Bourne.
Just because we just had this come to the table, will we not have them come and do a presentation for this request, just for consistency?
That's why I asked if this was about interest relief. They're not talking about the interest on it. They're talking about the entire amount being waived. That's why I was asking.
Does that make a difference? I'm not sure what the policy would be.
Fine, if they wanted that, that's why I just wanted the motion to be very particular in all tax arrear situations and not just interest relief.
I think we had a gentleman here
Yes.
with Councillor Kerr in the past year with a similar situation, and they came to council. They did come to council.
And I'm fine with that. They're willing for that too. They just basically asked me to check first to see what was required by council. So thank you.
Councillor Kerr.
I feel that they should make the presentation here. Because that's been our practice in the past, and I think that we should stick to it.
Okay, so I'm going to say the motion will be denied. We'll take a vote, but so all in favor? All against? So the motion is, he wants you to say the motion again there, please.
The motion was to waive the outstanding property tax balance for the Bear Food Bank in light of the oversight in submitting the annual tax relief application.
So the motion was denied. The food bank will be contacted to come in, to make an appointment to come in and present to council. Okay? Is that it for you? Okay. Deputy Warden.
You Warren. I just want to let you know the senior lunch is held every third Thursday at the Middle River Hall. Everybody's welcome to 10 to 1 o'clock. And I would like to request a letter be sent to Susan Kelly, inviting her. Susan Kelly is the Cape Breton Victoria School Board from the school to consult to discuss Baddeck Academy. The number of students in the elementary grade is quite high, and some classes are being held in the kitchen classroom. So I would like to see if there are any plans to expand the school or conduct a study about adding extension to the building. So I make a motion to send a letter to Susan Kelly to invite her to consult.
Do we need a motion for that, or is that just a letter?
Also just ask us to
Okay.
contact her to come to council.
Okay, can I ask her to come to consult?
Yes. That's a good idea. We haven't had an update from the Cape Breton Victoria Regional.
Guys have any
Center for
issues? Yeah,
Education.
so that
Mhm.
will be great to address
Yes.
them. And I think they didn't meet the new council, I think.
No, they haven't met the new council yet
Will
either.
be, yeah. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Councillor Kerr.
Thank you, Warden. There was a winter festival held within the village with a large number of snow sculptures, games for the children, and a number of events taking place. This event brought a lot of people into the community, and it created a lot of local participation as well. Reminder also to our area that their winter produce market is held every second week at Bold, which seems to be a big hit in the area. Our high school girls are hosting the provincial basketball tournament this year, and we wish them all the best. Branch 53 Legion in Baddeck has applied to change its name to the Percival Anderson Memorial Legion. Percival Anderson was a citizen from Big Baddeck who received the Victoria Cross in World War I. And it's it would be a fitting event that this took place. And also congratulations to Laura Dixon, who is now the new president of the Legion. And I'd also ask that possible council could send a card to Mr. Rowley Thornhill, who's having some health issues right now, but was a great supporter of this municipality over the years.
Will be done.
Thank you.
Is that it, Councillor? Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Warden. Nothing really from my district, but I just have a few FCM things I want to bring up. First of all, there were 3 meetings last week. One of the Atlantic Caucus, where we discussed Toward Prosperity, Don Mills and David Campbell's booklet. A lot of interest in it. I don't know if anybody else had read it at that point or not. Secondly, the Public Safety Committee met, and the discussion on the RCMP, which is similar issues all across the country. Just for an example, in Tumbler Ridge, it was stated publicly that there were 5 police officers in the detachment. I don't know if that was their regular number or if that was their actual number at that point. But the whole issue of staffing, we've dealt with it in the past and so on and so forth. And finally, this one was really interesting because I just thought it was me on the Infrastructure Transportation Committee. We passed a resolution regarding high beam lights, LED lights, how bright they are. I just thought it was me. I thought, you know, they look kind of bright to me, but nobody else seems to be complaining. But apparently it's a big issue, especially in cities, I guess, where, you know, the traffic is much more prevalent and so on. Finally, I just received on Friday an email regarding the FCM annual general meeting in Edmonton, and registration opens this Thursday, the 26th, but they booked a suite of rooms for board members and so on. And as the deputy warden pointed out with NSFM, they can vanish pretty quickly. So I would like to move that I request permission to attend the FCM AGM in Edmonton in early June.
Motion on the table for Councillor Patterson to attend this event. Is there a seconder? Second by Councillor Matheson Lafort. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Bourne.
Fraser, Councillor Patterson, sorry, is there a budget that you foresee for attending this conference?
No, not at this point. No. I guess the word is fought for years since I've been there that there should be some relief for municipalities. So far, I haven't been successful, but there are a lot of municipalities, especially smaller ones, of course, who, you know, it's a fair expense, and that's a fair question too. But I keep plugging away at it, so maybe it will change into the future.
Any more questions, sir?
This is involved the FCM conference as well. This is not the FCM conference, right?
Yes, it is.
Right?
It is the FCM conference.
Oh, yeah. How many they're going this year? It's a discussion for that as well.
There's discussion for that.
That's a good point, Deputy Warden. And I just, like I said, I just got the email on Friday
Yeah.
regarding the room suites or room blocks for board members. Obviously, anybody else who wants to, you know, people can decide how we're going to go about that. But I'm just trying to avoid what happened to the deputy ward or the warden with the rooms for the NSFM.
Yeah. Okay. Just to make sure that we're talking the same conference.
Good point. Yeah.
Thanks.
So there's a motion on the table that Councillor Patterson go to Edmonton, right? Is it, Councillor Patterson? For the FCM in June? Right? And we had a seconder. So all in favor to let Councillor Patterson go to the FCM to represent us? All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you. Is that it for you, Councillor Patterson? Is that it for you? Okay, thank you, Councillor Patterson. Councillor Bourne?
Thank you, Warden. On January 28th, the East Coast Music Awards announced that the Gaelic College received their first ever nomination for Venue of the Year. So I'd like to send out a congratulations to everyone involved. On January 31st, South Haven Hall held a very successful community breakfast by Goodwill donation. The next one is coming up February 28th. On February 17th, I attended a virtual fire modernization planning session hosted by the province. It was very informative regarding the future of fire services in our county. With that being said, I would like to find out if we could request potentially having Lyle come in to do a presentation just for this topic, whether that's in Cal or a separate session. I think we need to be well informed.
Yes. So all of you, I hope, attended the session last week that was presented to council by the province. This is probably one of the biggest things that is going to happen in changes in your term. There are huge changes coming to municipalities in relation to fire services governance. So one of the things that some other CAOs have that I'm probably going to start, you need to pay attention on this one. So hopefully you all did. And yes, Lyle, or a presentation. I actually made look to see what I can find for presentations as well. Lyle might come from it on the fire services side, but we could also bring in the governance side of it. So I think it's a good idea.
Great. And even if it's something that can be done for now quarterly, I almost feel things are changing. They're changing. It's very fluid right now with what's happening. And I think we have to keep our attention to this, like what you had mentioned, and it gives us an opportunity to potentially, I don't want to say influence direction, but your input is very much needed. I think all of our input's needed right now as we go through this.
Yeah, there's actually something on the floor today at the provincial building in relation to this, and we don't know what that looks like, but there is something coming out of this.
Thank you. From February 24th to April 28th, South Haven Hall is hosting square dancing every Tuesday from 7 to 9 with details on their Facebook page. In the St. Anne's Bay, the Community Health Group continues its bi-weekly pop-up market with fresh, affordable produce, senior lunches every Wednesday with presentations beforehand, and the community hikes every Saturday. Details can be found on their Facebook page and also the St. Anne's Bay event sheet. And then coming up on March 7th, there will be a free tax clinic at the St. Anne's Bay United Church. And then I have also a motion to put before council. Council has an annual grant program for operational and capital funding, but we often receive requests outside that cycle. These ad hoc requests can be difficult to evaluate without complete information, which can make it challenging to make informed decisions. This motion I am bringing forward asks staff to develop a standardized pre-application checklist and submission process for these requests, including potentially financial statements, project estimates, and demonstration of public benefit. As part of this work, staff would also determine the appropriate threshold for when the checklist should apply. The goal is to ensure council receives consistent and complete information before considering funding. So here is the motion. I move that staff be directed to develop a pre-application checklist and submission process for non-profit funding requests received outside the annual grant application process, including requirements for financial statements, project estimates, and demonstration of public benefit, with a threshold to be considered as part of the scope of the work. to ensure consistent and complete information is provided to council prior to consideration. I believe this motion is about creating fairness, transparency, and consistent process for evaluating ad hoc funding requests while allowing staff to determine the most appropriate threshold and criteria.
I just tweak that. We can't ask staff, so can you put in their motion to ask our CAO to?
Absolutely.
Yes.
To request
Correct,
through our
yes.
CRO to
Yes.
direct staff.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. Can I have a seconder, please? Second, Councillor Carr. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Matheson-Lafort.
I'm in total agreement with this, just based on the fact that I decided I'm going to ask every single person who presented for financial statements as well. So if we don't have to sit here and ask them and vet them like that, that would be a great help, because sometimes I know it throws people off when you start requesting financials while they're sitting there. Thank you.
CAO?
So good news is we are in the process of developing, or actually we have developed a draft of a council procedural policy, and this should be part of that. So today, probably on your way home, you will receive a draft copy of a council procedural policy to discuss probably at the next committee of the whole, which should have a piece of this in it as well.
So there's a motion on the table. We had a seconder. All in favor? Your motion's carried. That's it then, Council Board? Okay, Councillor Donovan, you're up.
Thank you, Warden. On Sunday afternoons at the Smoky Recreation Center, the old school, they still do have the Sunday afternoon jam sessions with local musicians, all just kind of jump into a room and one of them yells out a song and the rest of them play it, and it's well worth the trip. They also have refreshments there if you're in the area and want to drop in and listen to some really good local talent. That's the place to be. The folks at the Smoky Recreation Society have asked me to extend a huge thank you to Bill O'Brien. I'm terrible with names, but he had a group of volunteers that were there as well to help not only donate the boards, the rink boards to Cape Smoky, but to actually go in and bring their tools and help take them apart and load them on the trailers, and they were amazing. So they would really like to extend their heartfelt thank you for all the help in getting that done. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Donovan. Councillor Hennick.
As we get ready for another storm, these two events that are coming up in my district, they're loving the snow. As we've seen this morning with North Highlands Nordic, they hosted the provincials this past weekend with Warden Organ and our MLA Diane Timmons in attendance. Thank you to all the volunteers for their hard work to make this event such a success. Also, the Bay St. Lawrence Community Center will be hosting their annual snowmobile rally March 7th. Please go to their Facebook page for more information. I would like to also congratulate Miles Dixon for winning the heat pump. That was a fundraiser for our local Aspie Bay Church. Thank you to everyone that supported this wonderful cause, and also a great thank you to Dave Wilkie for donating the heat pump. It was very much appreciated. Also this weekend, the annual John Memorial Bursary Auction will be held from Friday to Monday, with all the proceeds going to school scholarships at Cabot and to CBHA. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Hennick. So for District 7, I attended 2 community brunches, one at the North Highlands Nordic and one at St. Andrew's Parish. Both were wonderful, well attended. Thank you to all that cooked our breakfast or brunch, the one in Cape North is held on every Saturday, and I urge people to attend to have a good meal and to catch up with friends. And watch for the date for the next one at St. Andrew's Hall. It'll be in March sometime. The Young at Heart socials that are held in District 7 are continued to be a great success. The one held on February 11th had over 50 in attendance for a meal of Chinese food. Thank you to all that make this outing a success. This week coming up, it will be Sloppy Joe's, a salad, and a session with Shannon Ingram Christie. She's going to be talking about wills and what to do for all that. She is a lawyer and she's a local. She was born and raised in Neils Harbor. Also on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., the parish hall is open for a walking session with smoothies and toast afterwards and just to catch up. So that's a great thing. I had the pleasure of attending a watercolor paint day in Iona with Cassandra and had a great time, a great lunch, great discussion, and I'm looking forward to. I'll be going back again. I've asked other councillors to let me know when any events going on in their districts, and so I'm putting this out to the residents too. If you have an event that you would like me to attend, to please email me, and if I'm not busy, I would love to attend because I'd like to visit all areas. We had a meeting with the RCMP in Ingonish to discuss local events, and also they wanted to, I put this out to all councillors. There's a new design for their cruisers, which will now be black and white, looking more like I guess the city police. And their uniform color shirts will be changing also. So if you see an RCMP officer coming at you with their blue shirt on instead of a gray, they are a police officer. They should be changing soon, right? The cruisers will probably be in the new year, approximately. I also like to add again, the street light repair is needed at 424 Shore Road in South Harbor. The arm is loose, so when it blows, it shakes the light and it goes out again. I'd like to take $500 out of my district budget for the North Ingonish Legion. Councillor Donovan, which number is that? Your Legion? Branch 105. It's for their new fundraising committee. And that's it for District 7 right now. Deputy Warden, sorry.
Sorry, I forgot something.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. I received an email from tourism. I would like to send a letter to the Minister of Tourism and the Premier Houston about we're very disappointed about the cut of the BICs. One in Port Hastings, another one is two in the island, and right now maybe ours will be in jeopardy as well. So I think that is very important we live from the tourism. So I think it's a bad call, but I just want to send a letter that how much is going to affect the tourism in this island. I work in the summer and people, the first thing they do when they wake up, they go to the BIC and then asking what they're going to do for the day. So really, if our BIC is going to be in trouble, maybe we have to find a way to support them because it's very important to us. So I would like to send a letter for.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. So a letter will be constructed there.
Could you sign it?
Yes, I will sign it. Definitely.
Thanks. And just one question about you comment about the RCMP.
Yes.
Do they going to send a community? They're going to a communication to the public about cars and uniforms because just that is very important. And I can say that happened years ago with a guy just put a car is. I don't think it's very professional for them to just send us an email, to invite a few of them and know anybody to the community to let us know that these cars are coming and this uniform is coming.
They wanted to meet with us first and then they're going to be putting out a bulletin.
Yeah, but I think they have to come to council because the people need to see what is going on and why they're doing it. Because if I see this guy with a new car, he pull me over, I'm not going to pull over. So
There, okay, we'll put a request
Yeah.
in
it's very unprofessional for them to do that.
that they come to council. Yep, let's put in the
It's
request.
just the island or is in all the province?
Yes, it's all the province,
It's
national.
Yeah.
So,
There you
Councillor Bourne?
Yes, and also just to add to that, with the police committee, where that stands, because like they're supposed to be attending, if I'm not mistaken, that committee as well. So I think if that was up and running with their representation, we would be a little bit more, I think, informed about these things when they come up. So valid point. Thank you for raising that.
I think we're close on having another meeting for what was our community consultative group, which was our workaround for a police advisory committee. But I believe now that we have a provincial representative, we can form a police advisory committee. So we'll look for that soon. I believe Steph's not here to comment, but I think she's nailing down a date on that. And RCMP have been involved in that.
Okay, we are going to take a half-hour break for lunch. Okay, we're back again. We are on motions. Oh, sorry, committee reports. Does anyone have a committee report? Deputy Warden?
To let you know, for about the B2 is going to go to quotes for the body. It's only one, and the two they give it by the phone. So we're going to have three pretty soon for you guys.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Anyone else have a committee report? No? Going on, we have motions. Cost sharing agreement for J-class roads. Leanne, you're going to speak on this?
Yeah. Okay. So every 3 years, the province Department of well, they're not called that anymore, but their header on their page says that the Department of Public Works for roads sends us a 3-year cost share agreement for subdivision streets, which is J-class roads. So it's probably about, I think, October, maybe. I send you folks a note to ask you if there's any roads that you want to put in to see if the province is willing to partner 50-50 on. So that's because we have an agreement with them for cost sharing. So we've received notice from them that the cost share agreement will end in March 31st, 2027. They are looking to see that we sign into a new one by July 3rd, 2026. If we are interested in doing so, I'm assuming that you are interested in signing up for that.
If we don't sign, are they going to pay for them all? Councillor Bourne has a question there.
Is there any significant changes between the two contracts? Pretty standard? Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So if everyone is okay with that, I do have a resolution of council here that I will read off and then we'll get it signed if that's okay. So the following resolution was. The following resolution of council, the following resolution was passed at a meeting of council of the municipality of the county of Victoria on the 23rd day of February 2026. Moved by, we'll have to have a mover and we'll have to have a seconder, that the warden and CAO be authorized to sign cost share agreement number 2026-021. And then they're looking for that motion to be carried.
Can we have a motion on the table? It's moved by Councillor Donovan, second by Councillor Bourne. Discussion? All in favor? Your motion is carried.
Motion carried. So then you should probably read that.
I certify that the above resolution was passed at the duly called meeting of the municipality of the county of Victoria County on February 23rd, 2026.
Perfect. Thank you.
And set it for that one?
Yep.
Okay, committee of the whole recommendations. Council?
So we had a committee of the whole meeting. So you folks would need a motion to accept the recommendations from committee of the whole.
Can I just ask one question? Councillor Matheson, Lafort, you have a motion in here that you would like to read, but is that the same thing we discussed? It's almost different than what we had discussed at committee of the whole.
It is what we discussed with just an amendment to it. That's why I didn't want it put through as recommending everything, because the wording had been changed on some of the, because that was the clerk's wording, what was in the recommendation list. So I just changed the wording for and put them in the standard form for motion.
Okay, so the recommendations that for the CAO was that I look into what other municipalities are doing and to contact the NSFM, which I asked Councillor Patterson to do, and he has done so. Your mic there.
I sort of did an informal poll, just among a few selected municipalities. There were 8 in total. 4 of the 8 did their CAO evaluation in-house. 3 of the 8 had outside consultants, or whatever term you want to use. And 1, of course, the largest municipality in the province, has their own HR department with experts in the field. So I counted, it is in-house, but it's a different situation than most of us are in, where they have the staffing, the staff numbers to be able to do that. So it's roughly 50-50 in-house and hiring an outside expert.
Thank you, Councillor Patterson. I myself also talked to a few wardens, mayors in the area. I talked to Warden John Cunningham of Yarmouth. They do outside. The cost the first year was $12,000, and the following 2 years were $8,000 each. Their one that did their, he's retired now, so he's not available. I also got other names, but East Hants does their own. Pictou County, they're in the process. Some want to do it inside, some want it out third party, so they're in the process now. They can't really decide. And also I was talking to, where's it at? Can't find now, but it's a mix of inside, outside, and I got a cost from $8,000 to $12,000 for these sessions. So that was a recommendation for the cow. So I don't know if you want to still make your motion. Okay.
Council directs staff to prepare and issue a request for proposals for a third-party CAO performance evaluation with the scope and evaluation criteria to be approved by council prior to issuance. So just to explain that part, because this our CAO had questioned whether staff were going to be doing up the request for proposals. So CAO knows that criteria are set by council, not staff or consultants. So council ensures that the evaluation isn't biased, incomplete, or misinterpreted, and it avoids the perception that the consultant is making up the rules. So how it would work is that our next committee of the whole, we would discuss as a council what the scope and evaluation criteria would be. But that today we're going through with the motion to start the process to say that we would be issuing a request for proposal.
Can you reword that? Because as we cannot direct, wait a minute, Deputy Warden, yes, okay.
So
That we cannot direct staff. We can only direct our CAO.
right, so what I'm saying is that
Excuse me, councillors?
so the council direct the CAO to direct staff to prepare and issue a request for proposal for a third-party CAO performance evaluation with the scope and evaluation criteria to be approved by council prior to the RFP being issued.
Quick, can I get a second and then we'll discuss? So there's a motion on the table. Can I get a seconder? Second by Deputy Ward, discussion. Go ahead.
So change this to say direct the CAO.
No, you can direct the CEO because it's a CEO evaluation. We say
No,
that
but she has to direct.
So you have to, no, you have to direct the warden to do to find the person and start the process. No CEO and staff. It's the warden because it's a CEO evaluation. She's not involved.
Can I
Correct?
speak? Yeah, can I speak? So two committee of the wholes ago, you formed a committee. So I'm not sure where the committee fits in. And I just want to note that it should be in conjunction with the CAO. So the approval of the evaluation should not be one-sided because so if it's let's just put it out there, if it's a witch hunt and you're asking me to come up with something that you approve that is going to be detrimental, which is not the purpose of the CAO evaluation, then that it should be collaboratively done.
Yeah. Can I say?
Yes, go ahead, Deputy Ward.
In the cow meeting, we told the committee is not going to go. If I'm understand it, we dissolved the committee in the cow. So the step was to the warden check it out the options that you did. So now with here is the motion have to go to start the process with conjunction with the CEO to find, the person, the third party is going to do it, is going to work with the warden and the CEO to get the evaluation going on. But council have to approve the process, how the scope of the evaluation. Yeah. So have to be both, right? So we can direct CEO, we have to direct warden, right? It's just a warning. It's just a warning, but that's the idea.
So do you want to amend that?
I think I need to be involved
Yeah, well, yes,
and
we do.
collaboratively.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I was trying to not.
Yeah.
We can't delegate staff to.
No.
Just that's why I was trying to basically say that is something that has to be done as a council decision when we're discussing it, because staff can understand. Well, that's what should be there. If you were there, that's going to be, it's just that I didn't want to take that one off. that procedure that they can do with her, that they can do the actual basic request for a proposal, but they can't be the ones that come up with the scope and evaluation. So that's what I was trying to clarify there. Okay, that was.
I just want that written in the motion, though, that it is a collaborative approach.
Go ahead, Councillor Vaughan.
Thank you. I think with having been part of these before, usually the third party would already have somewhat of a template ready for us because they've done them before with other councils. So I just wanted to confirm that we're not starting from scratch and we're not starting up like creating this. It's already been done. And I would completely think that the CAO would have to be a part of this evaluation. So I think the work's been done. I think we don't want to overthink it. I think most of the work has been done once we get that RFP out. Thank you.
It was literally about having eyes on the RFP before it goes out. That was it. That was basically what this motion's about.
It's clear. I'm sorry.
I just shut it off. State your motion again because it's clear as mud to us now.
I have to figure out what to do with it. That the CAO directs staff to prepare and issue a request for proposal for a third-party CAO performance evaluation with the scope and evaluation criteria to be approved by the CAO and council prior to issuance.
Are you going to bring it back also to see if you're going to approve it based on price as well? Or are you going forward with it? So
At this point, from what most people have reported and what I've looked up myself, it is anywhere on the spectrum from $8,000 to $15,000, which would not be happening annually at all. And it is basically only taking place because it's just good governance. I wouldn't even be recommending this if 5 of the 8 council weren't new, basically. So this is more of an us thing than a you thing, if you want to put it like that. Just because it shows good governance with new council.
Anybody have any other questions or concerns or? Go ahead, Councillor Hennick.
So if we go ahead and we order a third party to do the evaluation, so as Mrs. Matheson LaForte had said, so we would look at maybe changing their criteria that we'd only do the evaluation every maybe 2 years or something because of the costs.
Well, that's neither here nor there right now. That's not even part of the decision right now.
I know, I'm just looking at the cost, right? Because if we do it every year, that's a lot.
It wouldn't be
Right.
something like that, wouldn't be an annual thing. It was just, it's our first time thing, and it's recommended that new council, with the majority is new, do it almost halfway through their term. So we're not brand new trying to do something like this, and we have a relationship with the CAO, but at the same time, we haven't gone an entire term without doing it, so.
Right.
So the committee of the whole recommendations are probably not to be approved and may need to be individually because they're different than the next step. And I think maybe the only 2 things that were in the committee of the whole were the CAO evaluation and the municipal advisor advocacy.
And the sidewalk. That's true.
Okay.
That didn't make it on the agenda, but yeah, it's on the back.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so
So my question is, now before the cow, we just say we approve the recommendations for in council meeting. We say we recommended the recommendations for cow. Now sounds like we are going to the recommendations they're going to do in a motion. Every recommendation from cow. Correct,
Councillor Matheson.
I looked it up, and according to the Municipal Governance Act, it is highly recommended that you separate those motions and you don't do one entire recommendation from Cal during council, just because of the tweaks and changes. And then if something has to be amended in the future, if they're separate, it's less work to be going back and doing that. So that was just the recommendation I looked up according to MGAs. Thank you.
Go ahead. Okay, so we'll have the clerk look that up as well. It might be a workshop on how we do this on a go forward. But I would recommend that we not approve the committee of the whole recommendations and do them separate as they're all listed there now. Good. So,
Perfect, yeah.
okay.
So I know there's a now, I know there's a motion on the table, but in the motion, you're asking the CAO to direct staff. But should it not go through me too, right?
It actually doesn't have to. I looked at other municipalities and it's pretty commonplace for the CAO to direct staff for RFPs without going through the warden. I mean, you can't get it.
Just as long as you are involved in.
So is there a committee? Is there not a committee?
No, there's no committee.
Is this is this part of council sessions? Is this in camera? What are we doing with this?
Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Okay. So the intent of the TAO to do the CEO evaluation was, one more time, is we direct to the warden to give us the third party to work. And the second is when you have the third party, will come to, now you come in con council, they say, I have this third party is going to do it. So now the third party, when the third party comes, council is going to give it what we expect. And the CEO and the third party is going to talk to the CEO and the warden. The warden is going to be the chair, or the person is going to inform to council what's going on. We don't need committee for that.
Oh, I believe that that's different than what you have put in your motion. Because your motion is to bring it to council. So you're now talking about something different than bringing it to council.
This is my understanding.
Yeah, and two committees of the whole ago, you did a motion or a recommendation at committee of the whole to form a committee to do this. So I don't know if that has changed or not.
But that changed in the last CAO meeting, because in the last CAO meeting, we direct the warden to find all the informations. And
not to interrupt, but just under CAO performance evaluation, there were two. Number one, proceed with a third party CAO performance evaluation RFP process. That was step one. And then step two was council to contact NSFM for guidance / support.
So they did.
So that's what I'm saying. Mine was the first part about proceeding with the third party
CAO. No need for the committee now. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, Councillor.
No, that's fine. So we're just approving right now we make the recommendation for CAO to make it a motion, right? Right now your motion is just, we have to do that 2 recommendations there. They're done. Practically they're done, but we need a formal motions to do that.
So who is evaluating the RFP?
Council.
So we're putting on the council agenda?
Yeah, like we have to meet with the third party, right? To do the evaluation.
Who?
Yeah.
Evaluation is on an RFP when it goes out. So it's just a matter of in CAO, we get a quick discussion to go what gets included in scope of evaluation.
And you too.
And then that's what we'd be putting the details of the RFP.
Correct. So then. So all I'm asking is, could we form a committee a CAO evaluation committee to look into this? Is that,
Well, we don't need a committee because the warden is represent a council, and she's going to talk with RP, and you're going to talk to RP. We don't need to do a council.
so you're directing the council, the warden to do this, not council?
Yeah.
Because the motion is council.
No, we don't have all. we
think
don't
it's
have
getting
to
more
be-
difficult
We
then.
don't have to be all of them in that evaluation. The warden is the represent. She have to come to us and give us the updates and.
But this is
that.
the actual RFP is going to go out. So it has to state in the RFP what we want the third party to, the general things we want to make sure that they're covering.
Oh, okay.
That's all that's all we're talking about now.
Oh, okay. I'm ahead, I guess.
Councillor Vaughan,
You jumped in.
I'm confused. Wouldn't the RFP just be sent out for the scope of getting the estimates in for
Yes.
the work? That's it, not the scope of the work. It's just to get a request for proposal.
Yes.
I think we're jumping ahead a little bit. I think we get we get as many estimates as we can, whoever wants to apply. Then the scope of the work would be discussed with the person or the company that has been selected. Does that make sense?
So how about I reach out to, again, let's not recreate the wheel because we're not that different than everybody else. How about I will direct staff to reach out for a few different examples of RFPs. And then who am I bringing those RFPs back to is the question.
Question, because their contract coming through, would that not be held in camera? Because it is that portion of it, would that not make sense for the rules that we're allowed to go into in camera? Thank you.
Perfect. There, I think we're getting there.
This is why I want to be advocacy first, because that was clean.
We'll word it out.
Okay.
We'll word it up and send it to you.
Okay,
Okay.
but there is a motion on the table. And we have a seconder. We did second. Somebody, Morgan, okay. Thank you, Deputy Warden, seconded. And I think we're all clear on it.
In ahead. Okay.
But anyways,
Proactive and thinking way down the line.
and it was a good discussion and we kind of got off track a little bit, but anyways, so there is a motion on the table and a seconder, so all in favor of the motion. Motion is carried. I think we're ready for supper now. Okay, the second motion there, the municipal advocacy,
Yes.
Councillor Matheson Lafort.
This one should be simple. The motion for municipal advocacy is that council affirm municipal advocacy as a core function of council. And further that the warden be authorized to sign advocacy correspondence where the communication is government to government in nature.
There's a motion on the table. Do I have a second or second? Councillor Donovan, his hand went up so fast. Any discussion? All in favor? Your motion is carried. Next, Deputy Warden McLeod, sidewalk plowing.
Thanks. Well, I'm going to just read it. Motion for sidewalk plowing. A council approve option 1, county funded sidewalks plowing for the 2024-2025 winter season only. And for that, council direct the CEO to investigate the legal ownership of sidewalks within the village of Baddeck and report back. And for that, staff provide a report identifying which sidewalks to the county will own the village of Baddeck and what such ownership will entail. And for that, staff provides analysis of area rate implications for sidewalk plowing in both the village of Baddeck and Ingonish.
Deputy Warden, I think the date might be wrong there. Should it be not the 2025-2026 season?
No, isn't it was 2024-25?
Well, we are in 2026. So it's up to we discussed it to be to March or April of 2026.
Oh, so, okay. Okay, 2025, 26.
Am I wrong? Right? That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Okay, sorry about that.
Go. Okay, but wait, first I'm going to get a seconder and then we can discuss, okay? So there's a motion on the table from the deputy warden. Can I get a seconder? Second by Councillor Matheson Lafort, and discussion. Go ahead.
So
Ann.
what was a committee of the whole was to contact legal to come to council to or to discuss sidewalks. And anything in relation to sidewalks. Are we not doing committee of the whole on that? So there's more in your motion than that.
But that's steps, that is the, yeah, that's the recommendations we give for Cal. Send it back to us.
Okay. All right. Carry on, sorry.
Okay, so there, excuse me, any other discussion? Nothing?
Why you have a, you think it's a problem?
No, that's just.
Oh, the third one.
So all in favor? Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. Correspondence. Any correspondence?
Correspondence is in your packages.
I'm going to do this.
Mm.
I have one correspondence that I don't want to read out, but I will. Dear Warden, fellow councillors and municipal staff. I'm announcing my resignation as councillor for District 3 for personal reasons. I would like to thank all voters of District 3 for the opportunity to have been their representative. I would like to thank my fellow councillors and the municipal staff for their tremendous support over this last difficult year for our family. It has been an honor to represent District 3 and to work with such diligent councillors and staff of the Municipality of Victoria. I certainly wish our great county well in the future. I thank you all. Councillor Jess Kerr. So right now I am declaring a by-election for District 3. I'm sorry to see Councillor Kerr go. I wish him well in the future. He's going to be greatly missed at this table. And but like I said, I wish him all the best. Anything else to, and if there's anything else to come up with the by-election, we will be putting that out. I'm not sure of the timeline or.
Yeah, we'll have to research what the next steps are. I think it's happening a few different places in the province right now, but yeah, that's too bad. That will be a great loss. That is a great loss for around this council table.
Yes, it is. Okay, no public for, is there anything online? No? Okay, so can I get a motion to go in camera, please? It's moved by Councillor Donovan. And second by Councillor Bourne. Thank you. Welcome back and thank you for the time we had in camera. I need a motion to accept the recommendations that we talked about in camera. Can I get a motion, please? It's moved by Councillor Donovan and second by Councillor Hennick. All in favor? Thank you. And that's it. So, oh, one more thing.
I
Thank
think
you.
you need the audit committee. You had something in the agenda.
Oh. Oh, right. We need a motion to accept. Oh, sorry. Motion to accept the audit committee recommendations that we discussed earlier today.
I just
Can I-
moved.
And it's moved by the deputy warden, second by Councillor Matheson Lafort. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. And that's it for today. We don't need motions to adjourn anymore. That's not in our, I can just say we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for a long day.